Well, history made today at the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake as Chief and Council signed into law the enactment of the Kahnawake Justice System Law. Ron Skye joins us. Ron, this has to be a very proud day for you after tons of work, and we've said this many times, but now the hard work begins, because I think every time something gets passed, it seems like that means there's even more work.
Yeah, well, there are certain hurdles and challenges that we have to address when we're developing this type of jurisdiction, if you would. It's an assertion of the community's wants and needs in relation to providing judicial services. The interpretation of law is always something that people contest, if you want, to varying degrees, or there's differences of opinion. But today we're ready to turn the key on the second phase, if you would. The first phase was just actually getting the law developed itself. Now we start with the second part, which would be incrementally bringing in certain sections of the law. Restorative justice is there. We've got that part, or that component, ready to go. The larger issues, though, are really with the that agreement with Quebec and/or Canada in relation to the, and I hate using the word recognition. That's not what I mean, about them recognizing or realizing that we have the right and the responsibility to provide the service for our community. So that's the next step, to get that, so we can really broaden the parameters, if you want, of the jurisdiction of what we want to hear over here. And I'm speaking specifically about Kahnawake law. We're talking about membership law, tobacco law, gaming, all that stuff, to be heard within our Court of Kahnawake, to be adjudicated in there and even appealed within our own justice system as well.
Even after 7 years or 8 years of work, even at the council table today, there was some clarity that seems to be missing. What makes it so difficult for people to get their head around this?
Well, law is complicated. It really, really is. People have in their heart maybe what they feel the right thing is, and law and justice sometimes aren't the same thing. But there's processes that we have to do. We have to look at what the legal obligations of council would be, or the community would be, in relation to dispensing justice. And also it's on the other side of the coin, because we want that the judgments, if you would, and that was a very, very strong sentiment from the community, that they wanted those judgments to be enforceable, recognized outside of our territory. So that requires a negotiation. And that negotiation has already begun for them to understand that we are going to be doing this, and it's going to require them, from their side, their legal obligation is probably to change some of their legislation to be able to recognize what we do. And that's the tricky part.
Now, I guess, as we really get close now to getting the community to understand a little more, what's going to happen in terms of community information?
Well, in the next week or so, we're going to put together a communication plan, and not really an implementation plan. We have one, and it's got to be a little bit loose in relation to that, because it depends on the discussions we have with Quebec for different areas, and it'd also be dependent on the different laws that we're going to be discussing. If we take the membership law, as it stands right now, if we had an agreement with Canada in relation to S2, the Court of Kahnawake would be able to hear that membership law tomorrow. Unfortunately, we haven't come to that agreement. We haven't come to that political accord in relation to that membership issue. So until that's addressed, we can't hear it in the Court of Kahnawake. We'd love to be able to address those issues, but until this community decides what they want in relation to membership, we can't move forward there.
So lots of work still to do, and I guess a lot of clarity needed for the community. So in the meantime, again, today being, what is the date today? the 15th, I believe it is. The 15th, it was a unanimous decision by Chief and Council to move forward with the Kahnawake Justice Systems Law.